And good evening to everybody. Welcome to this week's Maternity and Midwifery Hour. This is the 9th episode of the 3rd series of Maternity and Midwifery Hour. My name's Sue Macdonald and I'm the curator of this Midwifery Hour and also the Midwifery and Maternity Festivals. So it's my pleasure to be here chairing this evening. And as many of you will know, this evening these sessions were designed in response to the COVID pandemic as a means of making sure midwives, student midwives, and loads of people in the maternity services had some access to information, continuing professional development during that time, because obviously we haven't been able to have face-to-face festivals or study days or conferences. So this is a way of countering that and making sure you get some interesting material and learning, which is fantastic. And tonight we're looking at postnatal care, sometimes called the Cinderella of the maternity services. I think my guests here will probably think it should be the jewel of the maternity services, really. We need to ensure quality and support from pregnancy to that transition to early parenthood and the early parenthood. So I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Elizabeth Duff from the NCT and Logan Van Lessen from the Whittington here in London. And welcome to both of you. I'm so glad you're with us this evening. Now we always start off the evening, and I've put both Logan and Elizabeth on the spot to ask them for their moment of the week. So can we start with Elizabeth, maybe?
I was warned about this, but I had forgotten till just now when I was reminded. But I'm going to take a moment in personal life just from today, because we are about to move house away from where I've been living for getting on for 40 years. Wow. And both my daughters and my little grandson came round today to say goodbye to the house. So although quite a lot of it is already packed up, it was quite a funny but emotional few moments, just going round and saying, oh, well, that's the last time. But we will have a new house and we will all meet again. And it's lovely to be here.
Gosh, that is a real rite of passage, though, isn't it? Moving from one house. Gosh, oh, real emotional thing. Thank you for that, Elizabeth. Oh, how about Logan?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's so lovely to be here. When Sue kind of asked, and I thought, oh gosh, what was been so special? And it wasn't this week, actually, it was last week. But I am a trustee of the ILNC Midwifery Trust, and we had a fabulous awards ceremony virtually last week. So in terms of the awards, the ILNC Awards happened last week. So there were some fabulous awards for midwives and student midwives. And I just think that in COVID times, that was really a very warm spot last week. So yeah, that was my kind of moment, if you like. And trustee on the board for the first time. So yeah.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. Absolutely a really heartwarming for both of you, really good events. So thank you for sharing those with us this evening. I just have to reiterate that, because I always do on this, that this is provided by Netflix, and this is where you need to go if you have an assignment to do, if you've got revalidation to think about. It's a very good source of information. For example, this session tonight, which is going to go out now live, and later on in the week and a bit later, it will be accessible after this time. And you can share it with your colleagues and your friends and have a discussion about it. And that can be part of your revalidation for those of you who are looking at that. Just at the moment, I just need to really think about the fact we're still in lockdown. We've still got this roadmap. I've got roadmap steps by my side at all times, just to keep track of how and what we're meant to be doing. It's very easy at the moment, I think, especially as people have had the vaccination. Some folk are getting, quite excited about, oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can do the other. And of course, we still have to follow our social distancing and our masks, and just trying to stay at home as much as we can. So keep with it. We're getting there. But there is still a lot of people who are sick in hospital, and we send our good wishes to the people who are in hospital poorly, but also those staff who are working so hard to look after them and care for them and their families. So thank you to those people in intensive care, in the high dependency units, and in the medical wards who are looking after people. We always also say a big thank you at this point to our maternity service colleagues, because though some people have been redeployed, most maternity services have carried on, because guess what? Women are still pregnant, having babies, and need that care. And so a big thank you to the midwives, the student midwives, maternity care support workers, all the people that keep everything going in the maternity service for women and their babies and their families. And we've added our thanks to people in the vaccination centres who are doing such fantastic work, doing the vaccinations and getting the sort of rate of COVID right down, which is fantastic. And again, a big thank you to all key workers, everybody who's keeping the whole country going and keeping us going. Now, I always, at this point as well, go on to the news. We've had the budget, and I'm not going to go on too much about the budget, because many of you will be hearing it all day and all evening, and it's quite hefty going. But the key things is the furlough is carrying on till September. The top up of £20 a week benefits are continuing for another 6 months. Wine, beer and fuel duties have been frozen. That may be good news for many people. And there's a stamp duty holiday for people as well for a while. So we're moving away from the budget. You'll be all relieved to know. And today is World Hearing Day and World Wildlife Day. And it's also the National Day for Bulgaria. I always like to have a little fact like that. So to anyone who's a Bulgarian who's listening in, have a lovely day, and I hope it has been a good day for you. Just also, vaccinations are very well underway. We're hitting over 20 million vaccinations. 20 million vaccinations. It's just incredible. So well done to everybody who's part of that. And it just reminds you when you hear someone like Dolly Parton singing the vaccination song. Any of you who are on Twitter will have probably seen that. But she's had her vaccination. She held back, even though she's put an enormous amount of her own money into vaccination processes in America. But she held back from having hers, but she's now had her vaccination, so that's good. I'm an avid tweeter, those of you who don't know. And a tweet of the day for me was a lady called Annie Bush who talked about the Bosch huddle. And I thought this was a really good idea, which could be fitted in wherever. I think this is mainly used in medical care. I'm not sure. But it's a Bosch, so it stands for BOSH. B, you all get together, just 5-10 minutes at a shift, and you start off with B. Has everyone had a break? O, are we all okay? S, are there any sick people on the ward? And H, does anyone need help? And I thought that was a really good, quick checkout, just to make sure we're all looking after each other, because this is the real time we need to look after ourselves, but also look after each other. So I thought it was really good. You will all have noticed there's a resources page that's online, and that's got all the references you'll need for this evening. Some have come from Elizabeth, some have come from Logan, some have come from me. So do check that out. Okay, we're going to move without further ado on to the main meat of this evening, and that's to look at postnatal care, the Cinderella of the services. It's a time, and especially at the moment, when people feel very stressed, very anxious. The mum's coming home with a new baby. It's very scary, and midwives are really needed to provide postnatal care. And there's often some challenge about that, especially over this last period of time. So I'm really so pleased that I've got two fantastic speakers. We're going to start with Elizabeth.
Thanks for watching this video from the Maternity and Midwifery Forum. For more expert opinion and analysis, hit the button below to subscribe.